Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. Today I will show you how to create a virtual hard drive in the well-known VirtualBox to be able to install Linux Ubuntu onto that virtual hard drive partition. Now, VirtualBox is basically a program that allows you to install virtual hard drives, and then you are able to install Linux distros and other operating systems onto your original Windows 10 operating system. I know VirtualBox is also available for Linux as well. Now, at the outset, I'm not actually going to show you how to install Ubuntu. We are just going to cover how to create a virtual drive so you are able to install Ubuntu onto that. The installation process of Ubuntu is for another video. So what you need to do is, after you have done a Google search for VirtualBox, I'm not going to do it now because I've already downloaded VirtualBox. Just do a Google search for VirtualBox, find a reputable site, and download the executive folder, run it. It's about 200 megs big, and install that onto your PC. Now, to start the process of creating a virtual drive, go to your exe file. I've just saved mine. I always keep my VirtualBox on my taskbar. For now, click on it once you've installed it, and now we are going to create a virtual hard drive. Now, what you do is you go to the new button at the top, and then in the name over here, we're just going to type in Ubuntu. And then this will bring up the type, the Linux, and the version Ubuntu 64-bit, because I'm running a 64-bit operating system. That is okay. Now, over here you see machine folder. Now, this is where your virtual hard drive is going to be installed. The default path is C users, and then your username, VirtualBox VMS. Now, I don't like it to be on my C drive. I like it to be on my data partition. So if you want to move this, just click on that, go to Other, and then I'm going to go to find and then just find a destination where you would like to install that folder, that virtual drive. Now, I'm going to create in my D drive. I'm just going to go right click, new folder, and I'm just going to call that Ubuntu. And this is the folder where my virtual drive will be created. I'm going to select it and select folder, and you can see it's changed to D Ubuntu. Then you just click on next. Now this is the memory size. Now in my research I found that this is the amount of memory you need to allocate for Ubuntu to run smoothly. I've done my research and they say at least 4 megabytes of RAM for Ubuntu. Obviously if you're running a operating system with less than 8 gigs of RAM, I would make this maybe 3 gigs or 2 gigs, but you might find a bit of lag. I have 8 gigs, so I'm going to go to allocate 4 gigs to my virtual machine. Okay, then once you've done that, click next, and then here's where you create a virtual hard drive, a virtual machine. The hard disk, just leave this at create a virtual hard disk now. Go create, and then I like to say click on VHD, virtual hard disk. This is the type of hard drive you're going to create. Go next. You can storage on physical hard disk. I just leave this at dynamically allocated. You can make it a fixed size, but I find that the default setting dynamically allocated works fine for me. And then you can see here file location and size. You can see my virtual hard drive is in D Ubuntu Virtual VHD, which is virtual hard drive. And then here we're going to select the size of the virtual hard disk in megabytes. They say recommend 10. I've done my research and I found that making this at least 25 gigs for Ubuntu is sufficient for everything to run smoothly in your virtual machine. Obviously if you have battling for hard space, you can make it smaller, but just be aware the smaller you make it, you might run into problems. So I like to make that at least 25 gigs. Just go create at the bottom on the create tab, and as you can see my virtual hard drive has been created for Ubuntu. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to click on that, and then we're going to do just adjust some extra settings before the installation is over. Then click on the virtual hard drive Ubuntu that you want, you've just created, and then go to settings at the top. And then there's nothing we need to change here. Go to system, and then what I like to do here is processor, give at least 2 processors to Ubuntu. So now it's going to use 2 processors. I have a Core i7, and that is more than enough to give to Ubuntu. Then we go to display, and then I like to crank this up to 128 megs video memory. That should be fine. I think under storage there's nothing to change. USB, just make sure you've got enabled USB if you want to use a USB with your virtual machine. And that is about it. Then click on OK. And as you can see, we have created a virtual hard drive and a virtual machine in VirtualBox to be able to install Ubuntu onto that. That virtual disk now is truly and well ready for a Ubuntu installation, which we will cover in due course in another video sometime. I hope you found this video useful. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.